better? I don't know. I don't know why we're sideways. Why are we sideways? Huh. Who knows? Alright. Let's see what the crack is. Alright, so I guess we're live then. I'm live on one. I'm not sure what's happening with YouTube at the minute, or Instagram at the minute. I think to be honest with you, I don't know what's going on. We'll have to check it out because I think I'm sideways. Am I sideways? Don't know. Anyway, I don't want to be sideways. I don't understand why I'm sideways. If you're on here, am I sideways? I don't understand why I'm sideways. Let me know if I have rotated. I don't understand. Technology baffles me, to be entirely honest. Technology baffles me. If I'm sideways on Instagram, I apologise. I don't really know why I am. I'm not sideways on TikTok though, I don't think, which is nice. So, let's see. I have no idea. I promise you I'm not sitting sideways. The tablet is not sideways. I don't really understand why. Hold on. Can I don't know. Don't know. Anyway, so yeah, thank you very much anybody who has bothered to join us today. I'm Marina, how are you? Really, this is really, I mean, I don't know if people find these things useful or not. I find them quite useful because it means that I can think things through in my own head, and I can kind of narrate my own life, I guess. So I don't know what's going on with Instagram. It's annoying me because I can see myself sideways. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So basically, what I'm thinking of doing here is just talking through the way things are going and the way things are planning out. We're at the end of the second week. We're going into our third week today. Since trials, and we've got no official word yet, no official confirmation, but we're prepping for World Championships. We have to wait for an announcement from Swim Ireland before we can make any announcements ourselves, which is fine. We're preparing to go to World Championships in the hope that we get to swim. I say we, I'm getting to stay at home and watch on TV as always, which is nice. Best seat in the house. But yeah, we got hopefully 4 swims in Singapore, 50 back, 50 free, 100 back, 100 free. And then the rest of the squad is going to be at the Irish age groups and youth and open in Limerick and in Dublin. And we're about, I don't know, 9-10 weeks out. We're finishing week 2 of our cycle. So this the past week. Hello, Ellie. How are you? You know this because you were in this morning, so this will be boring for you. Yeah, so the plan is that I'll talk through what we did in the week that's just finished, how that has impacted on my decision making for the week that's coming, and we'll see how we go. Now, apparently TikTok have given me some challenges. I don't really understand the whole thing. So hit the like buttons or something. They've got, what, I don't know, 100 likes. 100 likes seems excessive if you ask me. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. Sure, it's just a bit of crack in them. And if there's any questions, fire them in Instagram or TikTok. As long as the question on Instagram isn't, why are you sideways? Because I don't know the answer. I don't know the answer. I can do this. Does this make it better? But it still looks sideways. It's still sideways. So I don't know. I genuinely, I have no clue why I'm sideways on Instagram. And there's Dylan. Nice to see you, Dylan. How are you? How's things going in Bath? Is it you're in, Dylan? Yeah. Hope it's going well. Yeah, so week 2. What we go through last week, let me see. Since we last spoke, Wednesday we went quite quality on Wednesday morning. We had a switch around Wednesday morning and evening for day. For everybody else, they went quality on Wednesday night. Danielle has assignments and stuff that are due, so we have to be a little bit more flexible there. So we went lactate tolerance on Wednesday night. Thursday morning is kick, always kick, all the time kick. And okay. Yeah, so Wednesday is always kick. Hi Phoebe. Thursday is always. I'm getting distracted by nonsense, to be honest with you. Mostly, and I don't want to harp on about it, but I'm mostly getting distracted by the sideways picture of myself on Instagram over here. And it's very off-putting. Anyway, so yeah, I think that these things, they're hopefully people find them useful. I don't know if you find them useful or not, but I find them useful just to talk things through. Okay, I have a little blog. I'll put a link up if I can figure out how to do these things. I'll put a little link. Hey, to a blog that I also write because it helps me just exercise some demons. It helps me get stuff out. I have some things that I'm reasonably passionate about. And I think one of those things is communication among coaches. Coaches have got to talk. They've got to talk to their swimmers, obviously, but they've got to talk to each other because learning through an informal setting is so much more beneficial than learning in a classroom for me. So check out the blog. It's sort of there. And there's some stuff in there. Some of it's just mad witterings of a old coach. Some of it's reasonably useful, reasonably beneficial. Anyway, yeah, so Thursday we kicked. Now we had a race weekend, a little bit of a strange one. We had Ulster Youth and Open, I think it was. Hi guys, nice of you to join us. Don't forget that the like and the hearts or whatever it is you do there, like, because apparently I have a challenge of 100 likes. It seems excessive if you ask me, but I have a challenge of 100 likes there. So let's help me out to see this thing here. We're at 1. We can do better than 1. Surely we can do better than 1. 1 like. I mean, I know I'm not the nicest person on the planet. Like, I know people don't like me very much, but I'd like to think I can get more than 2 likes. That's borderline embarrassing. So anyway, we had Ulster Youth and Open at the weekend. A little bit of a weird one. Okay, so we had a couple of guys that were going into it looking for qualifying times for the summer, so they were sort of race ready, and then we had some other guys who really were not, and are in the middle of really hard work, and for them it wasn't important in any real way at all. So a weird one. Decent swims, some decent swims, a few medals from the guys that rested, some nice fast swims, to be honest. Danielle had a good morning swim in the 100 back and a good morning swim in the 100 fly, which was a club record and a new event for her that we're trying out. Morgan was good in the 50 and the 100 breaststroke, relatively speaking, compared to trials. And some of the younger guys PB'd quite significantly, so it was decent, you know. We didn't swim finals for our older guys. We scratched them because, like I said, they have exams and things have to take priority, and it's more important that they do those things and get them sorted and out of the way. So I think that we get lots of learning. I think that we can look at Morgan and suggest that maybe trials, we had too much rest going in trials. 3 weeks was maybe just a bit too long. He needs 2 weeks most, I would say. And then for D, I think we've nailed down her rest. I think we're comfortably sitting with I don't even know what that says. We're comfortably sitting with 2 weeks, and we know that she can be fast off the back of 10 days, but 2 weeks is optimal. So yeah, so that's what we did. We kicked on Thursday. Thursday we normally, it's the first Thursday of the month, so normally we would go kick club, but we don't talk about kick club. Sideways, this way, I don't know. Hi. But with the racing at the weekend, we got our quality work out of the race. So we did a little bit of speed kick. We went about 4.5k, and we spiked it up with some short, fast kicks. We kept the kick focus in, but changed the way we did it so that we weren't putting too much fatigue into the legs ahead of the racing. Then Friday, just a paddle with some racing. And Saturday and Sunday, just paddles, long warm-ups and racing. So we got our quality work out of the racing at the weekend. And then we finished the week off yesterday. Hi guys, nice of you. Thank you for joining me. Still only 2 likes. Come on guys, hit that little heart button. Come on, was it over here? Hit that little heart button, and let's help me get to whatever goal that is that TikTok have said I have to hit. It's like 4. It's 4, thanks. So thank you very much. So yeah, Monday we have a little test that we do on a Monday morning. With everybody, we go 8.25s on 30, and they are max effort. And what we try to do is, well, what we do is we record the time, we record the stroke count, and then what we're looking for from over the course of the cycle, the 3 weeks of work, is to see if we can see an improvement in average time or peak time, in stroke count, or in what we call golf score, which is a combination of time and stroke count. So there are like 5 different ways that they can feel good about the set every Monday morning, and yeah, so we have the second round of that. And so it surprised me. I was a bit concerned with the racing at the weekend, but I was really quite happy with it, because they all stepped up and they all did a good job. So really, really pleased. Monday afternoon is safe to say I'd say their least favourite set of the week. For the majority of the group, we go par on a Monday afternoon. And yesterday we went 3 sets, 12.25s with propellers, underwater kick, max effort. And then at the end of the first set we went 2 max effort 25s. At the end of the second set we went 2 50s. At the end of the third set we went 2 75s. So a little bit of power work on a Monday afternoon. It's not very far, it's about 3k. Danielle went 10 threes. And we, talking to Pierce over the weekend, I changed the way we did it a little bit, and this time around we went 1 on, 1 off, 1 on, 1 off. So the even ones were best effort, and the odd ones were smooth and controlled. So heart rate around 30 beats below max on the even ones, on the odd ones, sorry, and on the even ones, the heart rate went up to about 187, and she held 340, 339, 340. It's decent. It was off Shorty's turnover time about 30 seconds rest. So yeah, decent. And what I'm trying to do with those Monday evening sessions is, rather than just go in and knock out 10 threes the same time every week, I want to progress them. I want to tailor them a little bit. So maybe we descend 1 to 3 for 9, and then a best effort one at number 10. Or like they said this week, we went the even ones hard, odd ones even, odd ones easy. So that was quite good. And then our week started today. Okay, so this is the second week. So based on what we did last week, my plan this week is, this morning we went 12 50s, and it's on 2:30. It's a long turnover time, and it's number 1. And we use tempo trainers little Finnis tempo trainers. I think I'll have an affiliate link or something for them somewhere if you want them. You can get them on Amazon. But they're incredibly useful. So we use a little, we use a little tempo trainer, and we've got a knockout. This morning it was 12.25, 12 50s on 2:30, and we got to be on back end speed, looking to be at racing tempo for as many of them as humanly possible. And that's a hard reset. Like, it's lactate production. It tips over into lactate tolerance towards the end. So tough enough. And they sort of struggle when they get to numbers 8, 9, 10. Numbers 11 and 12, it's really just about getting the skills right, making sure that under fatigue, when you're absolutely hammered and your legs don't really want to go anymore, and you can feel the lactate burning, that you're getting a nice tight streamline, nice tight turns, and getting that distance off the wall, getting the underwater kicks right. So that's the way we use it. I like it. The idea over the next, I'm going to keep it in. So I can't remember if I said last week, we're going 3 weeks of work and then a rest week where we'll maintain volume but lower intensity. And then we'll repeat that 3 times in the Worlds, with a 2 week rest in the Worlds at the end. Um, I like it. That Tuesday set is going to stay in though. It's going to be the quality piece that we keep in, and it's 12 this week. Next week we'll go 11, and then 10, 9, 8. Hopefully they'll start to feel really quite good about that set as we get closer to racing, wherever it is we're racing. So yeah, that's simple. All right, that's my plan anyway. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's not do that. Sorry, wrong button. So yeah, that's what we're aiming to do. All right, now the plan then tomorrow morning is an easy session. It's come in, they'll go 5k. It's just a float. I have, and I'm terrible at writing. I'm terrible at writing easy sessions, and I mean I'm awful at it. I don't enjoy it. It ends up always being the same, like some three 2Ks or 3 1500s or 5 1000s, or so it's so bad. So I have in the past been known to get one of the senior swimmers to write them for me. So to come in and write the set. So say to Morgan or Danielle or somebody, you're writing a set for me tomorrow. It's 4.5, 5k. It's A1, A2. It's skills and drills, a little bit of kicking it to recover from today, and then they write it and we run through it. So that's what we're doing tomorrow morning. Tomorrow afternoon is it's hard. It's lactate tolerance. We're probably going to go a set of 1750s on a descending turnover time. Start on 90 seconds and we'll end on 30. And everybody has to do 17. They're all number one. They're all max effort. And it's 23 minutes of just horrible swimming. So yeah, they have to push really hard on it, and they get out at the end of the session looking for a bucket really, but feeling like they've done a lot of work. In my squad, we have a couple of 14-year-olds, but generally speaking, it's 16 and above. We have 7 of the guys are in their 20s. The oldest person in the group is Morgan. He's 27. Danielle is 25, 26 this year. We have a couple of other guys, 21, 22. And then we have, like I said, a group of 25 total. It's a little hit and miss at the minute with exams being on. They understand why it's important. And listen, I don't tend to write that. Like I said, it's not that they don't want to do it. It's just that if I'm writing the set every Wednesday morning, by the time we get to week 4, the powers of coming up with something new and engaging disappears a little bit. So just for something a little bit different, I let them write it once in a blue moon, once a month, because I fully accept my limitations when it comes to writing an aerobic capacity piece that's 5k. Sometimes it can be a little dull, and I think it's important that they have to be engaged. So once every now and again, once a month, I'll say to them, you write this one, but yeah, I mean everybody understands that we go 40k a week. We don't go huge in our volume. We go 40k a week, and that's our average for the season. So yeah, they're not afraid to do the volume. Just sometimes, to be honest, sometimes I look at the sets that I've written on the board and I go, man, I'm bored just writing it. So yeah, but they don't complain. Like I said, if I came in tomorrow morning and wrote 5 1s or 3 2s or 3 1500s or something like that on the board, then they would roll their eyes a little bit, but they get on with it, you know. Like I said, Dee does 10 threes every Monday. They all do 10 threes during the week, but Dee does them on Monday. So yeah, that's the plan for Wednesdays, or Thursdays, sorry. Thursday this week, we go Kick Club. We don't talk about Kick Club. That's a reference. The Kick Club is a reference that only I get. I'm of an age, I think, where I find it very funny. And it's another one of those things where they roll their eyes at me. Hiya, Patrick. They roll their eyes at me when I go, it's Kick Club tomorrow. It's Fight Club, yeah, it's Fight Club. But they don't get it. So I spent far too long coming up with little posters and stuff. You know, the 5 rules of Kick Club, like Rule 1, don't talk about Kick Club. Rule 2, don't talk about Kick Club. Rule 3, everybody kicks. Rule 4, you kick till you're done. Rule 5, no fins. And it's all stylized like Fight Club, but I'm literally the only one who finds it funny. You know, we have a leaderboard that I publish every month in the club, and again, I'm the only one who finds it funny. But as long as I find it funny, it doesn't bother me. Don't forget to hit those likes, guys. There's a few more joined there. Thank you very much. Don't forget to hit the likes. TikTok wants me to get 100 of them. I think that's optimistic to say the least, but sure, just keep hitting that button, I think. But yeah, so we as a club, kicking is a weakness, in my opinion. So we started at the start of the year running things through, trying to improve our kicking, and it's sort of a motivational tool to try and get people to be enthused about wanting to do kick. I'm not sure it's worked, but the first week of every month we go a timed 400 kick on a board, no fins, no swimming, and then through the week, I don't know what that means. Through the week, we sorry, Patrick, I'm not entirely sure what that means. Through the week, through the month, the second week of the month, we'll go kick. So we do like a 6-minute kick. So there's some guys that can't kick off a 60 base, and they get demoralised if I come in and we go, we're doing 2K of kick on a 60 base, and they can't do it. So we go 6 minutes of kick, and you got to kick as far as you can in those 6 minutes. Then on the 7th minute, we go 225s, max effort with fins. Next week, Padraig, what next week? What you'll have to let me know. I'm a technophobe. I have no idea what I'm doing. Then the third week, we do that like 4 times 3. In the third week, we'll go a little bit of speed kick, and maybe the fourth week we'll go some underwater kick, and then we come back to that hard, fast 400 time kick. And I have a little leader table that I publish. If you have to go, this is terrible, but in our club, you've got to go under 8 minutes. No matter what squad you're in, you've got to go under 8 minutes to get into Kick Club. And if you go under, I think it's under 7:30, you're a bronze member. If you're under 6:30, you're a silver member. Under 6 minutes, you're a gold member. And then if you're able to go under 5:45, you're a platinum member. We have 3 people who are getting down there. And if you're under 5:30, you're a diamond lifetime member. But we haven't got anybody there yet, so I wouldn't stress myself too much about that one. That's the goal. The goal is to get everybody in the club kicking off a 6-minute turnover for 400s. And we're miles away from it yet, but that's the goal. So it happens in the national squad that I take, the junior national squad, and the regional squad. They all kick off that 400 time trial. So that's happening on Thursday. Hopefully we'll have a few more people who will progress, and I'll publish at the minute the leaderboard is enough because they're a little bit older. I think to enthuse the junior kids in the club to kick, there's going to have to be some sort of an incentive, and I don't think it should be anything massive. Like maybe on the prize given at the end of the year, we have a prize given at the end of June. Maybe they get a T-shirt that reflects where they are in the kick club, or maybe they get wristbands or something as they move through the groups, something like that. I do think they need to be incentivized. The group at the minute is old enough that the leaderboard and a little bit of crack and a little bit of competition about moving up and down the leaderboard. I put little arrows for people who progressed. I put in how much they've improved by. So there's a little competition thing going on there. I think that helps them a little bit. But yes, in order for the junior end of our club to be motivated to kick, I think we probably need to go with some sort of an incentive, something physical, whether it's a wee wristband that says that they're in kick club, but then it sort of overrides the whole nobody talks about kick club thing. So yeah, that's what we'll do. And again, I'll probably spend far too long stylizing some sort of a t-shirt that has a cultural reference that only I understand, but it'll make me laugh. So that's all that matters to me, really. Sorry, it's to keep hydrated. I'm on a health kick at the minute because I was told I was diabetic. Turns out I'm not, so. But it was a bit of a health scare, so the thought that I might have been diabetic is enough to kick me into doing some sort of physical activity, and drinking water and ice baths and that sort of healthier lifestyle sort of stuff. Anyway, Friday this week. What do we get to? Friday is race pace. Friday is always race pace. I think this week we're probably going to go 100 at back end speed, 100 easy, then 2 ones at back end speed, 100 easy, and another 100 at back end speed. So it'll be 200 back end speed, and then we'll repeat that set twice, something like that. And then Saturday morning is a quiet session. Danielle will be in, and she'll do the power set that we did with the rest of the group on Monday. And then Sunday, I don't know if anybody knows anything about the little club program that I'm in. I coach in Larne. Larne is a small club program. Our home pool is on the coast. It looks over the sea, looks over Belfast Lough. It's really nice. The sun comes up. You get to see it in the mornings. The big glass windows outside. It's beautiful. It doesn't have blocks. And also the group that I train, we train in another school pool in Belfast because most of them go to university in Belfast, and it doesn't have blocks. So we have no opportunity to start practice on back or free, any start practice. So on a Sunday we go with a small group to Bangor, the competition pool, the long course competition pool in Bangor, and the Aurora complex, and we make use of the blocks there. So on a Sunday morning we tend to go front end speed. We tend to go some starts and explosive through 15, 25, 35 at target pace for your 100 swims, at target pace for your 50 swims. And the 200 guys, they tend to go a little bit different. I reckon. I tried my powder. So that's Sunday. Sunday with the majority of the group, they'll go 6 ones at front end speed, getting off a block, getting out to 35. If they can hit 35 consistently in the right rates, the right stroke counts in the right time, then we'll go to 50 to feet, and they will stay there until they can do it consistently to the right time, easy speed at first 50 of your 100 before we start to do the back end speed on a Sunday morning. In my head, the plan is that we go 6 on 6 minutes. When you can do that, we go to 50 meters. When you can do that, we go 5 to 60 meters at front end speed. When you can do that, you go 4 of 7 minutes or 8 minutes to 70 meters. And ultimately, we're trying to get down to going 1 swim from a block right before we rest, where you're going 90 meters on your 90% of your target time, and that's my thought anyway. We haven't got there yet, so it's not like we're knocking that one out of the park every week. So, but we're getting closer. My philosophy around racing is that you've got to go hard. You've got to be controlled. You've got to be aggressive. You've got to be out fast. If you're swimming at 50, you breathe at 35, if at all, and you just got to go. But it's got to be controlled. So we want on a Sunday morning to rehearse that controlled speed, that easy speed on the front end of the race. And then if you're doing 100, you want to be out within a second of your 100 of your 50 best and then you want to come back within a second of that again. And that's fast swimming. I don't know why we're sideways. I don't know. I apologize. I promise I'm not sitting sideways. I promise I am vertical. But I don't know. I accept that it's weird. And unless I sit, I don't know how to do it. Anyway, yeah, I know I'm sitting straight on TikTok, but on Instagram, for some reason, the orientation is completely 90 degrees that way. So it's very off-putting on the other side of my screen, because I can see me in one screen perfectly normally, and then on the other screen, I can see me at 90 degrees. It's very, very annoying. Anyway, so last week I talked about how we track the athletes, and how we monitor what we're doing. And there's a few people have asked me to send some stuff through. It's been a lot of time and effort that I've put into this, so I'm trying to find a way that I'm comfortable sharing the information and sharing the data, because I don't want to be I'm not a gatekeeper of this stuff. I'm not a sports psychologist or a physiologist. I'm just a swim coach. All right. And during COVID, I spent a long time trying to figure out the best way to make as much use of the information that I was gathering as I possibly could. And I came up with a little app that I want to say I built. It's a click and drag build. It's no coding. I can't code. So, and we gather information through that. All right, and then I try to manipulate that information to tell me what I want to know. Okay, so I've got a couple of screenshots here that I'm going to put on up. I don't know if I'm going to get them in the right order or not, but we'll try it and say that's the wrong order for a start. There we go. So this is it's very small. I'll try and make it a little bigger. There we go. So this is a weekly report that we do. This is Danielle's weekly report. It's not this week. It's week 10 of this season, so you can see it's from November. And we track the number of sessions that she does and how that relates to the week before. We track the time that she spends training and how that relates to the week before. And we track how long she spends in the gym and how that relates to the week before. Okay, so that's at the top of the screen. The next bar down, you can see that week she swam 36,000 meters. And then at the extreme side, the vertical bar of 3 different colors, the dark green is higher intensity, the light green is medium intensity, and the pale green is a lighter intensity. And obviously just volume is fairly self-explanatory. And then the 3-bar graph below that, where it's green and grey and black, that is perceived rate of exertion for the sessions that she did that week. So green is morning sessions, black is a PM session, and grey is a gym session. We've tracked on there, we can see her resting heart rate and her HRV. And then the big long grey bar, you can see there's a grey, blue, green, orange and red is heart rates during the week. As you can see, that week was a lot of aerobic swimming. And then we track Danielle's backstroke, because just to avoid any sort of issue with her shoulders, we want to know how long she's spending on backstroke. And let's see, can we go back down to the size we were before, so that we don't have any issues around injury, overuse injuries. So that's a little weekly report that we put together, and it gets emailed out every Monday morning. I do it on Monday morning so that they have had time to log their information from Sunday, and it tracks Monday through to Sunday. So that's a weekly report that we give, and they all have one of those, which, as long as they buy in and as long as they're recording what they're doing, then that confirms for them what they've done, and it relates it back to what they've done previously, and they can print it out. It's a little PDF they can print out, or they can store it on their phone. They can do anything with it. I really think that keeping a diary is essential. for everybody, because you've got to be able to go back and say that this is what I've done. This is why I should be awesome. So keeping track of what you do is absolutely essential. Hi guys, nice of you to join us. A few more people join. Oh, nice. 40. I don't know how many that is. I can't tell if it's 3 or 43. I don't have a clue. If you're there, hit that thing up here. 3 likes. We can do better than 3 likes. Come on. Anyway, with that in mind, I have also for the younger half of our squads. So the seniors do this. Okay, the junior ones in our squads have little diaries. There's a couple of different versions of them, but they're just training diaries. Very simple. You put in your main set of the week. You put in your PBs, your goals, and what you want to achieve, and yeah. So that's a weekly report that we get for D and for everybody. And then this is hard to see. So let me see. This we go. No, that's terrible. Let's not do that. This is CTL versus ATL. Okay, so CTL and ATL are metrics that we use to track. I don't know what I'm doing here at all. Fitness, fatigue, and recovery. Okay, so I apologize. This is a terrible picture, but so the little red spiky line is their acute training load, ATL, and that's what I look at that is fatigue. So the spikes are the more fatigued, the lower down the graph comes, the less fatigued they are. The slightly less spiky blue line is their chronic training load, which is taken over a 49-day rolling average, and that's their fitness levels. And then at the bottom, the grey line is their readiness line, really, is the way I think of it. And it's a relationship between the other two. So if you see the green bar that runs, I apologize again, on YouTube, on TikTok, not TikTok, Instagram. It looks beautiful on this other screen. It really does. So the green bar that runs across the bottom is where I try to keep their training load, that readiness line when we're in training. And then the yellow bar is a target zone that whenever they're ready to race, that's where I try to get them. And if I zoom this back up, you can see this block here is a block of work into trials. Trials was here, so we got her into that red zone, or into that yellow zone quite nicely. If we scroll back, this was World Championships in December, and we were pretty much in the zone. And then, as you can see before, we're maintaining that training load through most of our training blocks. A little bit of a harder rest in here because of an injury, but and then this is up to today, but obviously Dee hasn't logged today's score yet, so that drop in line won't look like that when she records that. So and that just allows me to keep a track generally on how the season is going, how they're doing, for my own peace of mind. So I don't want to be putting them into a hole if I don't know that I'm putting them into a hole. Obviously there are times when they're going to be working really hard, they're going to be really fatigued, they're going to be shattered, and that's okay. I don't mind that, but I want to know that that's what's happening. I don't want to be surprised when they turn up and they're just hammered. So as long as I'm on top of that and I know what's happening, then that's relatively important. And then the last thing I think I have here, I don't know if I've already done that one, is this. So this is our training dashboard, athlete dashboard. I'll run through this a little bit too. I'll zoom it in and move it around, I think. So we have at the side, so like I said, Dee hasn't recorded today, so there's no resting heart rate in. This is a day-to-day resting heart rate. Hasn't been recorded today yet. It'll go in tonight, and that'll update it. At the side here, let me see if I can zoom this. We have our max heart rate. Dee's max heart rate is 201. Is our weekly volume. You can see a little bit of injury in here stopped us from working too hard just after Christmas, but are doing too much volume. We worked reasonably hard. This is our training load in here. And then across the bottom, we have a little graphical representation of that acute to chronic work ratio and a rolling average of the acute to chronic work ratio. So I want to try and keep those, and then there's a exponentially weighted rolling average of the. So those three, the plan is to keep those three little dials there in the green zone, but we've just come back, we're on week 2, and we've just started to ramp up the work. So understanding that for the next week or so, that's going to go into the red bar because it's a rolling average. So the rolling average is increasing as we go back to work. Then over here we just have heart rates, weekly heart rate zones, and daily loading. So that's yesterday's sessions. Today's not in yet. And then this is the effectiveness of those sessions. So we use a heart rate monitor and some jiggery pokery, and we get a trim score, which is a training impact score for both sessions yesterday, and trim score per minute, because sometimes I think that when the session might not be particularly hard, but if it's short, the impact score per minute is important, because just because their overall loading score is not high, because maybe the session's only 60 minutes, if they've worked their butt off for 60 minutes, then the training impact per minute is a better metric than the training impact per session, because the training impact per session will be adjusted because the sessions can be long. Then we've got aerobic training effective. You can see both the sessions yesterday, they were both entirely different sessions. So the morning was really quite low intensity with 825 spiked in it, and the evening session was the 10-3s, but both of them had a great aerobic training effect. They were highly improving her aerobic capacity, which is nice. We raced at the weekend, so 7-day rolling volume is down a little bit because there was 2 days of racing in there, which is fine. And then we have wellness scores. If I could screen share these, that would be great, but apparently I have to be on Facebook, on TikTok Live 3 more times before they're going to let me screen share stuff. But yeah, we track sleep, feel good, that's generally how they feel, their nutrition, their soreness, that's muscular soreness from training, their fatigue, their stress level and their mood, to give us a wellness score. And we track it over a 7-day period, a 30-day period, and an all-time period. So we can see at the minute Dee is slightly better than she is generally over all time, but not as good as she has been the past 30 days because we've had a race in there, so a rest, and recovery has been quite good. And then the colour coded across the bottom is just a range of scores to allow me. You can see their soreness is going towards red. Her mood is also tending towards red from yesterday. So I need to keep an eye on those two things to make sure we don't end up with a whole range of red scores. Although, as I've said before, I think breaking those rules is also fine. If you know you've broken the rules, that's absolutely fine. The last thing we have in here is I recommend a training load for today. I have an allowance in there because of the way she's trained over the last 2 weeks. It's suggesting to me that she should go reasonably hard today without going killer. Alright, so it's a 5 out of 10. If we have a 90-minute session this morning, I want to pitch it at about 5 out of 10 in terms of perceived rate of exertion. Yeah, sorry, they input the scores themselves on a little app that we have for the club, and it takes time. I'll come back to that in 2 seconds, because the last thing I want to show you here is this readiness. No, not the readiness. This recovery. So this recovery tells me that this morning, when she turned, well, as of right now, Danielle is 96% recovered, provided she has already inputted the data for the day. Okay, so when I come in the morning, I can turn this on. She hasn't put in this morning's yet. That number this morning, I can tell you, was 83. So before we started our session this morning, Danielle was 83 recovered from the previous couple of days of exertions. So I knew I could go reasonably hard this morning. Now, when she puts in today's data, that score will drop from 96 down, I would imagine, to 74, 75, something like that. And it's a decaying algorithm, so it changes, but from the minute you do it, it'll increase over time until you get the 100% recovery. And it's just another little thing to be aware of for me to track and make sure that I'm not pushing that number all the way down into the red, unless I intend to push it into the red, which would be pretty mean of me, really, I guess. Sorry, yes. The wellness stuff, okay, so very good questions. So the wellness stuff they input themselves. We have a little app that they go on their phone, and it's like I said, it's a no-code app that I managed to, I'm going to say, build. What it takes time, because initially they'll come in and go, oh, that was the hardest session I've ever done, and they'll put it in as an 8. And then they'll come in the next day and they'll go, actually, you know what? That session was twice as hard as the session we did yesterday. So it takes them a little bit of time. The perceived rate of exertion is an education piece around what is a 1, what is a 10. And we never go above 7 or 8, to be honest with you. But the kids, when they start doing it at first, they'll go, that was killer, that was a 10. And then the next day's harder, and they go, oh man, if that was a 10 yesterday, what is it today? So it takes them time, and the algorithm allows, I'm going to say the algorithm, it's a statistical deviation, all right, standard deviation and statistical analysis that allows for a little bit of learning on their part, okay? So it ignores the extremities, because it assumes that they're going to be wrong at the start. The same thing applies to their wellness. So those wellness scores, they may think, I had the worst night's sleep ever, I'm giving that a 2. And then they realize that actually it wasn't that bad. Okay, so the way I try to get them to do it, and my wife thinks I'm just a geek. But when I used to watch Strictly Come Dancing, I don't watch it anymore, but when I used to watch Strictly Come Dancing, or when we sit down and we watch Eurovision, anything like that, for me, the first one is always a 5. It doesn't matter how good they are, it doesn't matter how bad they are, it's always a 5 out of 10. And then you can judge everybody in accordance to that. Were they better than that? Were they worse than that? And then you've always got that little bit of scope. So that's the way I would do it. I'm not saying that's the way they do it. I would say that there are a few of them just go, yeah, that's a 4. Yeah, that's a 4. But yeah. The recovery is a decaying algorithm that I found through a Google search and a Google, I'm going to say, hole that I found myself in. You know, you find yourself in a rabbit hole where you just cycles down. I apologize, Marty. I am sideways. I don't know why I'm sideways. Steve, I'm sideways. I don't know why I'm sideways. Yeah, so it's a rabbit hole that I got lost in, and then I found somebody who had done a research paper on decaying algorithms and how they could be applied to physical recovery, and I tweaked it a little bit to try to get it to do what I wanted it to do. It's not perfect, because it assumes that all of your training happens at, say, 9 o'clock in the morning, or ends at 8 o'clock in the morning. So if you have a double session, it's not right. So it works for us correctly. It takes it over 3 days. So we have a single session on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So by the time we get to Sunday, the algorithm is correct, because all of their sessions finished at 8 o'clock. But then on Monday, our first session finishes at 8, and our second session finishes at 5 in the evening. So the algorithm doesn't work for Tuesday just as nicely as it could, and I haven't figured out how to do it yet, because it's a much more complicated formula, because you're putting in a second timestamp, and I can't quite get that to work yet. So when I come in on Tuesday morning, I have to understand that it says they're slightly more recovered than they are, because it's assuming all of their training for Monday finished at 8 o'clock, when I know there was another hour and a half from 4 to half 5 or half 4 to 6, and the same on Wednesday. But it was the calculation for the Google it was a wormhole that I got lost in, a rabbit hole that I found, applied it. It works, bar 2 days. For us, because if you have single sessions every day, it would work a treat, because you just tell it that you want it to start its calculation from 8 o'clock when your sessions finish, and then it'll be right every time. But if you have sessions that vary, and some in the evening, some in the morning, I haven't quite figured that bit out yet. But when I say I haven't figured it out, it's a very small percentage. It's 3 or 4% out on those days. It's not 50%. It's not saying they're 100% recovered when they're only 50% recovered. It's saying that they're 96% recovered when they're only 89% recovered, something like that, you know. So I'm happy with that as a payoff for things that are just not perfect, because like I said, I'm not a genius, you know. I try my best to figure stuff out, and I'm happy with the way things are. Like I said, I find value in it, and I think that as long as we find value in the stuff we do, that's all we can ask, really, you know. Hi guys. Yeah. So if there are any other, listen, thank you very much for your questions. I think that, like I said, I've posted on that blog. Check it out. It's Swim Coach Hill at WordPress, or swimcoachhill.wordpress.com. And I think that conversations, informal conversations, are the way we have to move things forward. And if we can find ways to talk and ask questions, I don't know the answers to the vast majority of them. I know the answers to why I do things. I don't know that what I'm doing is necessarily the way everybody should do it, but I know why I do it. And if we can find ways to help each other understand where we are and what we're doing, then you always pick up ideas. Always pick up ideas. I have. I don't think. I'm trying to think. If I can figure it out, okay. If I can figure out a way to do it, then I am happy to put the data collection sheet that I use in an Etsy store or in Patreon or wherever. I'll find a place to put it, and then people can download it. They can use it. They can change it if they want, and find ways that make it make sense for you. I mean, I track the things that I track because it makes sense for me to track them, and I can understand why I want to understand, why I want to watch them, but it doesn't mean that everybody has to track the same stuff. I have found that there are 2 or 3 things that really make sense to me. I have a little load tracker over 6 weeks that I use, and it means that when I'm planning the following week, I can make sure that I'm not excessively increasing the load or excessively decreasing the load without that intention. And like I've said a few times now, rules are always there to be broken. It's absolutely fine. You know, if the books say don't increase beyond, I don't know, 20%, from one week to the next, it's okay to go to 30%, as long as you know that that's what you're doing, and as long as you know that there will be a payback for doing that, and as long as you're happy to accept that. As long as you're happy to accept the payoff, then you can absolutely do whatever it is you want to do. The Patreon is content for everybody, man. At the minute I've only got 2 people in it, so it's not like it's a massive thriving community. It's very embryonic. So I post previews for blog posts. So I'm in the middle of writing a book at the minute on periodization, and I put like a free chapter in there, so that people can have a little look and have a little bit of feedback and give me a few ideas that I can take and make it a little bit better. I have, what else is in Patreon? I have I think there are 3 or 4 different membership levels, and I'm not as on the ball with it as I should be, but I will absolutely put something in there that allows people to come in as a coach and not as a swimmer. I want it to be a community where coaches learn off each other, and where I can, obviously I have to run a business as well. So I mean, if people are out there and they want online coaching from me, I am more than happy to do that too. So there's that in there, but I want coaching, especially coaches on the island of Ireland. I want us to understand that there aren't that many of us. You know, that it's not a very big country, and if we want to push swimming forwards, then it's up to us to do that. I believe that the Irish Swim Coaches Association which has just started this year, is a fantastic step forwards, and if I can be involved in that in any way that I can to help move our sport forwards, then I absolutely intend to do that. And these little things, like I said, these little conversations that we have, that I'm having largely with myself, are there to help me think through why I'm doing something. And if it helps spark a thought process in someone else about why you do things, or if you think I'm doing something that you don't think I should be doing, by all means tell me, because maybe I've missed something, maybe I haven't thought it through enough. And I think that the way we do that is by open, honest communication. And if we can help each other, then we absolutely should help each other. I have, like I said, I'm in the process of writing a book. I have a library of books sitting up here, that I reference almost every week. At some point, I'll reference about 5 or 6 of them in the week, and they're not just swimming books. They're physiology books. They're psychology books. There's all sorts of stuff there, because we have to be better people if we want to be better coaches. We have to understand that the way we talk to our swimmers, the way we talk to each other, is important, because words have power, and we as coaches. When I was a younger guy, coaching in a different club, a different age level, a parent came up to me one day and said that he said something that I hadn't thought of. He said that I'm one of the very few people that can get the swimmers in our squad to do something that they don't want to do necessarily, so convincing them, because they don't have to be there. They're there because they want to learn to swim. They're there because they want to be better. They don't have to choose to be in our program. And the influence that we can have on these young people's lives it's scary, really. I mean, we have to take that responsibility so seriously, and we have to be so good at treating them as people, not treating them as athletes, and understanding where they are in their sport and helping them to achieve whatever it is they want to achieve. Okay, I am in a very fortunate position, and I understand that at the start of this season, my brain was all over the place, because when I started coaching 30 years ago, if somebody had said to me, "You're going to coach somebody to an Olympic Games," I would have been like, "I'll take it now. That's it, done. I'll take it now." If they said, "You're going to coach somebody to a Commonwealth Games," again, I'd have bitten your hand off. And in a dream somewhere, I was going to coach somebody who maybe might have challenged for a medal. And this season, double Olympics, 5 Commonwealth Games, European Championships, World Championships, and 2 European medals and a European title is beyond my wildest dreams. And I really struggled to get my head around what's next. What is next? And what's next is waking up the next day and going back to work. That's the reality. That's what's next. Because the reason that we have whatever success we have is because we are the best person we can possibly be every day. And there are going to be days when you're going to suck, There are going to be days when the swimmers hate you because you've got out of bed on the wrong side and you're miserable and you're grumpy. But by and large, if you turn up every day and do the best job that you physically can do, then you're gonna have a great career. You're gonna have a great job. You may not coach European champions. I may never coach another European champion, but sorry, but that's okay. That's okay because I have impacted on the lives of these people, and I think it's a joy. It's a joy. And speaking of a joy, obviously, hit that heart button. I've got three. What? That's mad. Just they said they wanted me to get like 100. TikTok said 100 likes. I have failed so bad. I failed. So you just keep hitting that button. Yeah. I failed so bad. Hit that button because TikTok will be so disappointed in me. 5 likes. TikTok will be like, Swim Coach Hill, Peter Hill, you are a failure. that's thank you very much. Listen, I'm only going to stay on for another minute or two because, to be honest with you, I've rabbited on about swimming for far too long. And 29. See, I knew you could all do it. Just hit that button over and over and over again. If there are any questions, listen. I have social media. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. What Are We Doing is all of them. I'm on X. It'll always be Twitter for me, but I'm on all of those things. Feel free to just message me anytime, and I will do whatever I can to answer whatever questions I can answer. And if I don't know the answers, I will do my level best to find someone who does know the answers so that we can answer your questions. And listen, I am more than happy to answer any questions anytime. Like I said, I'm just a swim coach. I don't have all of the answers. I have very few of the answers. I'm just trying to do the best job that I can. And this is more for me than it is for anybody else because it helps me rationalize my own thoughts. So, hey, we got 100 likes. Somebody's obviously sitting there going mad on that keyboard. Listen, I have enjoyed myself. I don't really find this particularly comfortable, but we have to step outside our comfort zones every now and again. I haven't been on with the posts over the weekend because I've been out of competition, but we'll get back on it tomorrow. Check out the blog. Check out, let me see, have I got the books? Yeah, there's a couple of books. The little links are there. Check them out if you want. They're on Instagram. And thank you very much, Marina. Like I said, it's me just rabbiting on. I have a thought in my head that it might be quite nice at some point down the line to have a little What Are We Doing podcast where it's just me sitting talking crap about swimming and maybe having 1 or 2 guests in, some of the coaches who either really agree with me and we'll have a laugh or really disagree with me and we'll have an argument. But trying to start swimming and on talk of swimming on the island is what we want. So anyway, listen, thank you very much for coming. I think there's 58 people at some points coming through there. That's fantastic. And spread the word, share this to whoever. I think you can access it on something, but I'm gonna go and get some lunch. And yeah, thank you very much. And we'll see you again. The plan is to do these every week. So every Tuesday, 12 o'clock, put it in your diary. It's unmissable. It's better than TV. And I'll see you next week. Okay, thank you very much. And I think that's me out.